napalm on your Nike thigh. Seashell on the healer blast, now I stay alive. Bad timing with the pride. Too fly by the Commodore.
Hardly never did we cut a deal. Harvey Leather, tell you how I feel.
Time in the mirror, lights that make you look good, coated with that pastel, wanna disappear, so we riding with the planes. I love you, ain't glad. Showtime in the mirror, chief up for that wall art, drop it with your eyelids, try again, violet. Maybe it's a new stain, fly away, pilot. Only way to break. Mom's on his way now. Mom's on his way. Mom's on his way now. Hardly never did we cut a deal. I'll be leather, tell you how I feel.
What's you to me? Lay it on me, say it's not me. I don't understand what you're saying softly. You say I'm not me. Yeah, I'm a misled. Black satin envy. Where you with to find me? Where you with to find me? Lay it on me, lay it on me, lay it on me.
Okay, so as you can see, there's chemtrails all over the city, like 7 of them. And actually it's more than that, but I only seen 7 get made. The rest of them were getting made when I was viewing them. And I was just in shock by what I was seeing, and that's what made me decide to go inside and get my phone and record from my phone. And then while I was recording from my phone, one shot up right in front of me and started spraying. So I had to record it with the drone. And so y'all can see this for yourself. I know this stuff sounds crazy. I know it sounds made up, but just look for yourself. You can even see the plane spraying and stuff.
Shalom, Drone Division, subscribers, viewers, people watching YouTube, and others. Thank you for tuning in to the Drone Division. December 3rd, here in Rochester, I was taking care of some business locally, and I happened to notice a whole bunch of what I now call cloud planes. I used to call them chemtrail planes from the research I did from 2011 up until 2015, where I was informed about chemtrail planes spraying dangerous chemicals all over the United States and other places around the earth. And I was disturbed about the information that I learned. When I first came out of my house, I seen them. I seen one. And I just, like, okay, it's almost regular to me. Seeing a chemtrail, a cloud plane. Seeing a cloud plane is almost normal to me now, And so when I came out the house, I seen one. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then as I was going to do the things I had to do on the 3rd, I noticed another one and another one. And I kept seeing them. And by the time I got to the destination, I had seen 4. And that was remarkable. I've never seen that many in one day. And so I just decided to start recording it. And that is how we end up with what you see here.
Hey, you can't hardly see me. Let me get over here. You can see me better. Okay. Shalom, Rochester. Drone Division, Saints, and whoever else is going to find themselves watching this video. I just want to show you something. In Minnesota, we are having an uptick of COVID cases. We're having an uptick in coronavirus cases. And I noticed something today that was very disturbing. A whole lot of chemtrail spraying. Let me show you something. Okay, right there we got one chemtrail. And then right here we got traces of one over here. But as we look right here, we can see multiple chemtrails littering the sky. All over the whole city. And then we look over here, and there is another airplane spraying chemtrails over here. So far I've counted 5 chemtrail planes spraying chemtrails over this city. Look, it's leaving a giant, huge line over the city. I wish I was making this up, but the fact is, this is why there are so many cases of COVID and such a big uptick in virus. Look over here, there's another chemtrail over there. You can clearly see these 2 big lines right here, these 3 big lines that just got made. And the plane is still going that way. I wish I was making this up. You can clearly see the chemtrail line over there. They don't dissipate. A contrail dissipate. Chemtrails don't. There's the same one over there. And see what happens is these clouds, these chemtrails, become huge clouds and come down to the earth and fall in our water and fall on the ground, and it's in our air. And then we end up breathing and stuff. And that's why there's such a high count in Minnesota, especially Rochester, because they're constantly spraying. They're constantly spraying. And then look, I just made the video about the chemtrails. This is the 7th one I've seen in 3 hours. This is the 7th one. Look at it. The sky is littered with chemtrails. The sky is littered with chemtrails. Okay, so look, you can see it in the sky. You can see it all the way in the sky. So now let's check.
The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
Okay, so I've been seeing these chemtrails all day.
Take off.
I've really been tempted to go get my drone and fly it.
The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
I couldn't resist it anymore. Look at these chemtrails. Take a look at this. Here's the rest of it. It's all over the whole city. This is the 7th chemtrail plane I've seen. Look in the background, you can see another one flying. They do not care. They are not trying to hide this. There you go. That's gonna lift all this. Okay, look at this one. Look at this one. They're still making it. They're still making this trail right now. Right as we speak. This is not a joke. This is not a game. Here go another one over here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That dude right there making the chemtrail.
Yeah. Down low, up top. On my way to the bag at the bus stop. Some blow, some flop. I ain't get my shot yet, but I'm gon' pop. Don't stop, keep going. I got this mantra in my head and make me keep
Then you look over here.
Pour shots, keep pouring. It's no more vodka in my head, got no release for it.
And you can see where they started from.
Flip. I make a flip. I'm a hustler.
You see, look at the one in the background.
I just hit a lick. This that double shift. This that overtime. I'm on my
They do
job.
not care.
You know
Look,
I was
another
on
one
the
over here
grind.
now.
It's for my people standing up until they back hurt. It's for my people standing up to get the cash, sir. My minimum wage isn't on my cash clears. It's I gotta do, but yo, I need the bag first. It's just with me.
We are being surrounded by this stuff.
With me, yo, they say
All
I
over
need
the sky.
masters. They must have never heard me rap. That's a fact word. The system got
I had to
me
go get
on
my drone to
back.
show y'all
It's
this.
the answer.
I know y'all be hearing about chemtrails and y'all be like, these people crazy. Conspiracy theorist people. But look at this. Look at this. The contrail is not dissipating. The contrail is not dissipating.
I got this mantra in my head and make me keep flowing. Pour shots, keep pouring. It's no more vodka in my head, got no release for it. Up, son, I'm out. I don't wanna breathe, I just wanna pass out. Reaping what I sowed, that's what I'm doing, cousin. Keeping to my owns, not how I'm moving, cousin. Black Emperor, open the cash register. Running sales back to back peddlers.
And all over the whole city. All of them are.
Dealt with wealth, please help yourself, boo.
Ran over the
You hear
whole
way
entire
how I be
city.
rocking on the beat. I'm a rock star. Boy, I rock it to sleep. I'm a lead from the seasons I spent on my fucking job. And I signed a deal, I just sold that to God. Hey, look, down low, up top. On my way to the bag at the bus stop. Some blow, some flop. I ain't get my shot yet, but I'm gon' pop. Don't stop, keep going. I got this mantra in my head, it make me keep flowing. Pour shots.
Let's just get a good look at this guy.
It's no more vodka in my head, got no release for it.
Chemtrailed up.
Down low, up top. Down low, up top. Down low, up top.
I'm not trying to make a good video, y'all. I'm just trying to show y'all these chemtrails. I wish I was lying. I wish this wasn't true. I wish this shit wasn't real. Look at that. Look at all these different chemtrails. I know you see this. People want to say it's make-believe. But look at that. It's going all over the whole city. This is the 7th chemtrail plane I've seen in 3 hours. 3 hours, not all day. In 3 hours. I've been trying not to put the drone up because I didn't want to, record this. But I have to. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. All over our beautiful city. See, it don't dissipate. It turn into a cloud. And then it fall down on us like mist. You know, like invisible sleep. Microscopic. And as you can see, they're not contrails because they don't disappear. They turn into clouds. Huh? Who? 7.
Huh?
This is the 7th one. This is the 7th one.
Dude, that's not like I came out of the way.
Man, I had to bring my drone out and record this shit because this is ridiculous. I mean, I made a video recorder with my phone, and then I put it away, and then another one came out, and then another one came out.
You seen the fucking plane?
Huh?
You see the plane?
Yeah. I got it on my drone video.
I came out, I was like, look at that motherfucker. That's a big fucking thing.
That-
I have to reach that little right over the house too.
That's why they said there's been so much virus outbreak. It's over the whole city if you pay attention.
I know, I'm saying though. It's like they were listening, like
That's
what we're
6.
doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like the thickest right here at us.
Yep.
It's like the
That's
thickest
6,
right at us.
7. That one right there, that's 5.
Oh, it's about like hours.
Yep. No, the 5th one I seen.
Oh,
Because
okay.
this was going on before I even came outside. And I tried to ignore it. And then I started counting them. And then I was like, damn, after I got to the 4th one, I started to videotape this shit. I videotaped them. Then I counted these more.
This shit is stupid. Look at that. That's how slow that is. Sorry, I got Jesus.
Hallelujah.
From 2011 to 2015, I did deep research on YouTube and other places about chemtrails. I had heard about them, and I had even seen them myself in the sky, but I didn't pay them any attention. Not until after I saw the interview with Prince talking about them. Prince was talking about it. I couldn't believe Prince was talking about it. So I began to think that this was something I needed to look into. The research that I did concerning chemtrails led me to this lady, and this was a little bit of the beginning of the research that I began, and what she said was very profound and caused me to continue looking into chemtrails, but to find my own outlet and more sources of information.
That apparently the guys who made hats used mercury to turn the fur into felt. And they would breathe the mercury, and it would cause brain damage, and hence the Mad Hatter. And that was in the 70s and 80s that I had my young kids, and I, at the same time, was learning that we were supposed to avoid using aluminum pots and pans because there was apparently a connection to autism. So that was the first time for me that I made any connection between heavy metals and human health. And then a few years ago, I learned that there was an unnatural amount of aluminum in the soil, and that there was a program spraying aluminum and other heavy metals up into the atmosphere. And so I wanted to check it out. And that's the first way that chemtrails showed up for me. Basically, chemtrails is a geoengineering program where airplanes fly at high altitudes and they spray chemicals into the atmosphere, including aluminum, barium, and strontium. And then those metals fall to the ground and they land in our bodies, on the soil, in our trees, in our food, and in our water. Many people confuse chemtrails with the normal jet contrails. The difference is that the normal jet contrails actually dissipate within minutes, while the heavy metals in the chemtrails cause those trails to persist for hours. And it's not a hypothetical thing. There are 32 states that already have legislation that's related to weather modification. The U.S. agencies that are documented to be involved in it include the U.S. Air Force, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the U.S. Department of the Interior, the National Science Foundation, and I know China boasted about using cloud seeding and weather changing before the 2008 Olympics in order to keep the opening ceremony dry. So that this is happening is completely documented. It's just that you have to know where to look because it's not talked about on mainstream weather reports. And this is where it gets controversial. And it's kind of weird because even though it's factual that there are metals in the atmosphere and factual that those metals are falling to the ground, when you acknowledge that or question the legitimacy or the legality or the safety or the morality, it becomes controversial. And really, that's sad because if you're questioning something that has such major impact on us and on future generations and on our planet, it seems to me that it should be one of the most natural and encouraged parts of life and education. So if you're not educated about this issue, I encourage you to do some basic research, and I've put some links at the bottom of this blog to help make that easy. I personally don't know anybody who is informed who isn't concerned, although the range of concerns is vast. For some, it might be that they think that this is a benevolent weather modification program, like putting snow on ski slopes in a bad season, but that it's inadvertently having some negative health impacts. Somebody else might think that the so-called solar radiation management is backfiring because the supposed idea is that you blanket the sky with these heavy metals and it reflects the sun back to itself. However, it's also creating a blanket and trapping the heat in, and so they are concerned about that. Somebody else might think that it's a corporate agenda to get an upper hand on commodities trading by being able to control and therefore predict the weather. And when you realize that 80% of the global economy is impacted by weather, that would certainly give someone an upper hand. Somebody else might just think it's a very sinister plan to sicken people and further control our food supply. The point is that there are any number of concerns no matter what belief system motivates you. And that's significant because I think it both validates the range of dangers and at the same time it informs what we can do about it. Because even for those of us who are convinced that we have a problem, our motivations and concerns vary, and that means that our strategies for engagement also have to vary.
Did you hear that? Did you hear what that lady said? And so this is what I was thinking when I saw the chemtrail planes. I didn't know that these were cloud planes and that these chemtrail planes were, according to the most recent YouTube research I've done, which was after the 3rd, I came home and I began to look across YouTube to see if chemtrails were still considered a dangerous poisoning of the environment by globalist elite. But from the research that I did this time, 90% said that this was just geoengineering. They're just making clouds to help block out the sun, and but according to the research I did on YouTube, 90% of the research I did this time from December 3rd until now said that those are not chemtrail planes. That's geoengineering. Geoengineering is taking place all over the earth. They have a legitimate reason for what they're doing. Actually, these two people debate about it here. This guy was saying that chemtrails are stupid and there's no such thing as them, and that's just contrails. But the other gentleman was saying that he's not even calling it chemtrails. He's calling it geoengineering.
Well, have you heard the theory that we're all being bombarded with a cocktail of chemicals from on high. The allegation is that those white vapour trails in the sky left by aircraft are evidence of a government weather modification cover-up, and in the process we're all being slowly poisoned. So is this a baseless conspiracy theory or something sinister that we should be taking seriously? Joining us live from California is one of the most well-known advocates of what is loosely called the chemtrails theory, Dane Wigington, and to challenge him from Australian skeptics, Ken McLeod, a retired air traffic controller. Morning to you both. Dane, I'll start with you. What proof do you have that chemtrails are happening and that they are for climate engineering?
First, I would start with the fact that we at geoengineeringwatch.org, the largest website in the world on the subject, don't recognize the chemtrails term. Semantics is important because if people search that term, they find conspiracy theory and hoax by design. So we advise sticking to the climate science terms: climate engineering, geoengineering, solar radiation management. In regard to the proof we have, in addition to having government documents, Senate documents, presidential documents, we have U.S. Air Force former generals, 2 former generals communicating with us. We have NASA satellite imagery like that, which you're showing right now, that clearly no one needs to know anything about meteorology to see that there's very unnatural patterns in those cloud formations, in fact, patterns that nature cannot make. In addition to our testing of precipitation from around the globe, which has yielded without exception the climate engineering components in the precipitation: aluminum, barium, strontium, polymer fibers. We have just at great expense and great effort completed atmospheric testing using a flying laboratory that NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, also uses, and we have just confirmed the same climate engineering elements that were emitted from aircraft in a layer that we flew through. We have just confirmed this, first type of its test ever. This is a court admissible type of evidence. I could go on, but the bottom line, in addition to all this, we have film footage of these aircraft at altitude turning on and off. You can't turn condensation on and off with the nozzles visible. As you see in that particular image you're showing now, you can see the nozzles on the wings. We have up-close photographs as well. If people don't believe what they see with their own eyes, I think there's not much we can show them.
Well, Dan, just sort of pulling back from that really sort of specific detail, why a good test of any sort of theory goes back to Cicero. Who benefits? Why would the government be using aeroplanes to poison its own population or change the climate? It seems like a very convoluted and inefficient way, for one thing, of doing anything. And why would they want to do it anyway and then cover it up?
First, in regard to your stated objective of poisoning the population, you said that, I didn't.
Okay.
That's not what we have stated at geoengineeringwatch.org. In regard to engineering the climate, I'll answer in their words. Militaries around the globe, starting with the U.S. military, state emphatically and on the record that the greatest national security threat of all is the climate collapse. What we face is far worse than global warming. We face what's more scientifically termed an abrupt climate collapse. The stated scientific purpose, and by the way, we have every science institution, every climate science institution around the globe discussing exactly what we see in our skies as something that needs to be done immediately to spray light scattering particles into the sky to block some of the sun's incoming thermal energy. So this is the stated purpose of solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injection, cloud albedo enhancement, to spray light blocking particles into the sky. And in fact, that's what got me into this issue. I have a background in solar energy. I formerly worked for Bechtel Power, the world's largest engineering firm. I have a fully off-grid home that was on the cover of the world's largest renewable energy magazine, and I was losing extraordinary amounts of my solar power uptake from whatever these aircraft were emitting. And clearly, condensation cannot block that much of the sun. So we knew there was a problem. We began testing, and we were astounded at the amount of data that was available that official sources were not discussing. And by the way, they're not discussing it because in one case, we have a federal gag order, an illegal federal gag order in the U.S., gagging all the nation's weathermen. I think we should ask ourselves why that's going on.
All right, well.
And so, but this wasn't the end of my research. I dug a little deeper. Because I really wanted to know, like, what's the big deal? Like, okay, if they are spraying this stuff in the air, everybody knows about it. What could be the sinister part of it? Because that's already dark enough. Like, what could be the sinister part of it? Then I ran into this information.
excuse me, on the left over here, we have individuals who are religious fundamentalists, religious fanatics, and this is the expression, RT-PCR, real-time PCR expression of the VMAT2 gene. Over here, we have individuals. So let me complete. So over here, we have individuals who are not particularly fundamentalist, not particularly religious, and you can see there's a much reduced expression of this particular gene, the VMAT2 gene. Another evidence that supports our hypothesis for the development of this approach. What you see
here is by spreading this virus, we're going to eliminate individuals from donning on a bomb vest and going into a market and blowing up the market.
So our hypothesis is that these are fanatical people, that they have overexpression of the VMAT2 gene, and that by vaccinating them against this, we'll eliminate this behavior. So we have some very, very remarkable data in this next slide. Here we have two brain scans. These are fMRIs. These are two different individuals with different levels of expression of VMAT2. On top is an individual who's a religious fanatic, an individual, and we've repeated this numerous times, that has high levels of VMAT2. Now, this individual down here who had low levels of the VMAT2 gene, this individual would self-describe as not particularly religious. In each case, these individuals were read a religious text. This individual lit up the right middle frontal gyrus, shown here, and that's a part of the brain that's associated with theory of mind. It's a part of the brain that has to do with intents and beliefs and desires. In marked contrast, here's an individual who would not particularly self-describe as religious, and when they're read a religious text, what you see is that this part of the brain called the anterior insula lights up. This is a part of the brain that's associated with disgust or displeasure on hearing something.
So you're suggesting I take a CT scan with me when I'm evaluating people to determine whether I put a bullet in their head?
So the data that I'm presenting here supports the concept that we're proposing, and I think that we would not propose to do CT scans or fMRIs on individuals out in the hinterlands of Afghanistan. The virus would immunize against this VMAT2 gene, and that would have the effect that you see here, which is it's essentially to turn a fanatic into a normal person. And we think that will have major effects in the Middle East.
How would you suggest that this is going to be dispersed? The aerosol?
Well, so the present plan and the tests that we've done so far have used respiratory viruses, such as flu or rhinoviruses, and we believe that that's a satisfactory way to get the exposure of the largest part of the population. Most of us, of course, have been exposed to both of those viruses, and we're quite confident that this will be a very successful approach.
This is fascinating. What's the name of this proposal?
Yeah, so the name of this project is FunVax, which is the vaccine for religious fundamentalism.
And you have a proposal already?
The proposal has just been submitted, and I think that the data that I have shown you today would support the development of this project, and we think it has great promise.
This is Millie Mills 0804. I put this video together today. Here's a few pictures. This is a picture of the inside of a chemtrail plane. These are all tankers filled with chemicals that they're spraying on us. Here's just a poster. That is a big old, looks like a B-52 bomber, military airplane dumping chemicals, large amounts. Here's satellite images of chemtrails streaked all across North America. So, thanks for watching. Spread the word, please.
So according to research I did from 2011 to 2015, the chemtrails were spraying poison, blood, smart dust, and they were killing the ground, crops. They were poisoning the water, and they were releasing things in the atmosphere that could make you sick. And these things are poisoning the ground, the vegetables, the fruit, the trees, the water. They're poisoning everything. Even the cows and animals that we use for meat. That's what this previous research said. Not only that, they were releasing dangerous smart dust, which helps them use your body like a terminal almost like a router. And 5G was how they were going to activate the zombie-like effects of you as a router. With the smart dust, with the barium, with the strontium, with the 5G towers, all these things were going to work together to make you a zombie or an idiot or to do bad things and commit crimes. And so that's what the research concluded as I went deeper. And so when I seen them spraying these things, I began to be concerned because of the research. And so before I made this video, I decided this was from 70% of the research I did on YouTube and other places from 2011 until 2015. And so after these events took place December 3rd, I decided to research again. And the first evidence showed 70% of the research showing that chemtrails were exactly what I just described. But now, from December 3rd until today, 90% of the research that I did said that this was just geoengineering. I can't tell you what it is. All I can do is show you the videos. And you can listen to me and my commentary as I'm recording the airplanes before I did the second set of research. And so, as we watch the video with me reacting to the chemtrails, this is why I thought that this was the chemtrails, but actually, they're just cloud planes, and they're making clouds, and nobody really knows what's in the clouds.
Let's get one more quick look right quick before I put it up. Let's get a better look at it. Now there go another one. Now there go another one. Right here while I was standing here talking to y'all, they sent another one out. Look at this. Another one, y'all. Another one. So let's just watch the cloud. I'm just gonna let this sit here for a few minutes and y'all can watch what happens. And look, another one just started. Oh my God. This is 10. This is number 10 right here. Number 10. Number 10. Okay, let's turn to number 10. See this one before I get lost in the sun. Okay, see that one right there? Look at that one. Look. Look. They don't dissipate. They spray in our sky. Tonight must be the night that the devil's gonna fly through the sky and that Elon Musk SpaceX 9 stuff. So they spraying this stuff to cover the air so you can't see Satan flying around. Well, look, there it go. I'm not making this up. You're looking at it.
It's the end of the world, Illuminati is coming. Gather the boys and girls and watches it all unfurls. They clutching at all their pearls and no one asking for guidance. Stimulus check, won't you cash app that? I got niggas and they said that respect they black. Politicians and they said don't know how to act. That's why we sitting on the wrong track, back to the long track. And it's okay to be rich. My mama always told me I was destined for greatness. But my mama also, she told me take care of the kids and everybody around the world that can't fight for it. Hakuna Matata, beast on the water, pray to provider. Please don't divide us. Keep that and try to face your intruder to be someone brighter. Yeah, all in mind if you don't listen that much. But some of y'all don't listen at all. The same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Though I just mind what you say for the crowd. But some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call.
The craziest thing I ever seen in my life. Alright, my battery died. I gotta bring it in. But look at they spraying this whole city. They spraying the whole fucking city with this shit. That's why everybody fucking sick.
Landing.
This is why everybody's sick. And it's not dissipating. Contrails dissipate. They don't just stay in the sky. Making crisscross signals in the sky with chemtrails.
Same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much.
So something's definitely going on tonight. There will definitely be some action in the sky tonight. They spraying up all these chemtrails so we won't see it, but we're gonna be back out here with the drones so we can see exactly what's going on. Thanks for tuning in.
Landing.
I'd like to thank you for tuning in to this video. And if you are concerned about chemtrails, chemtrail planes, cloud planes, geoengineering, or contrails, please do your own independent research. Look up the facts and details for yourself. It's freely available.